This is going to be the first part of several videos on making selections, or what are called selections in Photoshop. And this is really going to be about half of the battle for learning this program. Those of you who have taken my classes, of course, this will all be kind of a review, but let me show you what a selection is. If you want to make any change to anything on the screen, you can either make it what's called a global change or a local change. Global change affects the whole image at once. So for instance, if I go up here to Image, Adjustments, and come over here to something like, kind of a real standard one like hue saturation. If I move this menu over and start making a change, it changes the entire image at once. This is what we call a global change, affecting all the pixels at one time. If I want to make a local change, that is, I want to select just one part of the image, I have to select it. And we have different selection tools in Photoshop. And you see them over here at in the toolbox. Top tool here, the second to the top tool, is called the marquee. And there's different shapes to the marquee, and we'll start with a rectangular marquee tool, but all it is I click and drag to draw a box, and I've selected an area, and we know it's selected because it has this flashing line. Some people refer to that as the marching ants, the blinking line. It's called a selection. So this area of the image is now selected. So if I go and make some type of change again, I'll do the same one I did before, hue saturation. I've selected a local area. That is, when I make any type of change in here, it's only affecting that selected area. So this is a local selection. And if I want the blinking line to go away, I have to deselect it. You could go to Select at the top of the screen, scroll down and choose Deselect, or you could just do Control D. Control D is the fastest way to do it. Now, marquee selection tools, they're rectangular or elliptical, and they're good for selecting rectangular or elliptical things, and they're also used when we're trying to do certain types of things where we draw. We want to create a box to put a color in that we would fill with white text or something. If we wanted to create a box that would ultimately become a shadow, like a drop shadow of some sort, then in that case we started off with our rectangular marquee tool and we drew a box with it to get our blurry edge or whatever we're going to try to create. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and deselect this rectangular marquee tool. The elliptical marquee tool works the same way. Selects rounded shapes. Notice if I go if I go up to the edge of my selected line that's blinking and I click on that, I can move the selection around using my marquee tool. See how the cursor turns into a little pointer there, that enables me to move it. If I try to move, and you can move it from clicking inside of it also. If I go to the top tool, which is literally the move tool on the keyboard, and I move this, it punches it out of its background and leaves whatever color behind that is set for my background color. We'll learn about that later. So be aware of what's happening whenever you're using the move tool, the top tool, to move a selection edge. It's actually literally punching that out. Or if you're using the selection tool to move the selected edge, it's just moving the selected edge. So this is the marquee selection tool. I'm going to do Apple D to deselect. The one directly underneath it is called the lasso tool, L for lasso. It lets you use your mouse to make freehand selections of an area. If I wanted to attempt to draw around the edge of that sand dune, I could try it. I wouldn't be very accurate at it, and eventually I would give up and mess up. And there's different types of lasso tools. There's what's called the polygonal lasso tool. It lets me click and click. It's almost like you're connecting the dots to select something. So as you notice, I'm clicking on my mouse, and it's all straights. There's no curves. While you're clicking with this, though, you can hold your Option button down and drag, and it kind of goes into the original lasso tool and lets you freehand draw with it. And as soon as you let go of the Option tool, it goes back into the Connect the Dots polygonal lasso tool. So that's a kind of a good thing to know how to do. Trying to trace around something that's straight on one side but then has a curve to it. Hold down the Option button. It lets you continue on to where you get back to where you started, and it gives you a blinking selection edge. So that's the lasso tool. Okay, in the next video we're going to move into talk a little bit more about this, and we're going to move into what's called the magic wand.